Hi there, welcome. Welcome to Homekeepers. So glad to be with you today. It's going to be a really wonderful show, and I hope it's wonderful where you are today with your family and everything. We know that when the families of the nation are right, something wonderful, wonderful happens, and that's our effort here. That's the reason for our being here. And I don't know a subject that can really just tear at the heart of a family like abortion. And my guest today is an expert on that. She is the executive of CareNet Pregnancy Centers, and these centers save thousands of babies every year. But as is true in a lot of these situations, when Candy was very young, she herself had an abortion. And this, of course, puts such a zeal in her heart to do what she's doing, and God is really using her in saving these babies. I'm anxious for you to hear her and to understand her story. And Stephanie and I are going to make a Quiche Lorraine with Hash Brown Crust. It just looks glorious. It's got some rather rich ingredients, I confess, but we'll take a taste, and I think this is something you might want to do if you were having your girlfriends over. It's something that's really kind of very special. We'll show that to you. But before I join her, let me remind you that we are viewer supported. That means you, my good friend. And we appreciate everything you do for the program. The information's coming up on your screen. If you want to support Homekeepers with a credit card, use that 800 number. And that's 1-800-229-0059. Or if you still write checks like I do, send it to Homekeepers, Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida, 33758. And we thank you very much in advance. And I'm joined, Stephanie. How are things going?
Good. How are you?
Good, good, good. This is really a rich one.
Rich one. I got a few comments from people that tell me to stop rocking, so I'm working on it. Because I have the mother rock, and I do this all the time, and it's annoying, and it's even annoying when I watch it, so I get that, so I am working on it. I promise I'm not rocking.
And keep hounding her, because this habit can be changed.
It's mama rock. I can't help it.
Repetition.
Okay, so I'm going to put some onions in some oil. Now, what we were supposed to do is cook the bacon and then put the onions in the bacon grease, but we didn't do that because the bacon was already cooked. So I'm going to saute some onions. You have 3 eggs, a half a cup of heavy cream, a half a cup of sour cream, 3/4 cup Swiss cheese, some bacon, parsley, and a pinch of cayenne and nutmeg. And what you're going to do is you're going to mix that all up together. Now, what we did before, because we had to bake the crust, was we took 3 cups of frozen hash browns. We took a 1/4 cup of melted butter and salt and pepper and mixed it all together. And we put it in a pie pan and we baked it for about 30 minutes to make the crust. Okay, so 3 cups of hash browns, 1/4 cup of melted butter, salt, pepper, and I sprayed the pie pan.
You prayed?
You have a big bowl here if you want it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Susan had already put the eggs in here, so.
Yeah, it's just you have a lot of other stuff.
Yes, I think we might transfer that, yes.
Okay. So then I put it in a sprayed pie pan, and I baked it for 30 minutes. That makes the crust. I'm sauteing onions. She's mixing up, I'll just give you the ingredients again. 3 eggs beaten, a half a cup of heavy cream, a half a cup of sour cream. This is not a Weight Watchers recipe by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, it is. You watch your weight.
Yeah. Bacon, 3/4 cup Swiss cheese, parsley, cayenne, and nutmeg. That's what she's mixing up. Wow.
Double wow.
Double wow.
Well, hey, how do you like your new car?
I like it. It's fine. So I was driving home from Georgia a couple weeks ago. Got to right past Ocala, and my car died. The transmission went. So I was driving. All of a sudden I couldn't go anymore. Like, I got over, and I had no go. So I pulled over, got towed all the way back to St. Petersburg from Ocala, and I don't know if y'all know how far that is, but it's about an hour and a half. So I've never.
And you're sitting in that little narrow back seat.
Yeah. So I've never been so thankful for AAA in my whole entire life. Okay, because everything
wonderful.
Everything I ever paid into AAA was paid off that day. Okay, because that would have cost me an arm and a leg. So then we found out that it was $3,600 to fix it, and it was a 10-year-old car with 160,000 miles on it, and we just figured not wise to fix it because then what's going to happen next? And I travel alone a lot, so we went ahead and got a new car.
And she didn't have a whole lot of joy because she didn't want a car payment. I can understand that.
I don't know that. I did not want. Could you make a little more noise with those glasses, please?
They are noisy.
She's having fun over there.
Do you know there are some, if the real fine crystal, you can tune.
Yeah.
They actually
you're
have.
Just making noise. There's no tuning.
No, there's,
this
this is.
Yeah, so anyway, didn't want a car payment, but I'm working it out. Doing my little side gig. Doing my little chocolate couture side gig. Finding babysitting jobs when I can.
I got to tell you something. This girl meets life head on.
Got to do what you got to do, right? Okay, so you have all that mixed up. I'm going to put in some yummy, yummy sauteed onions. We're going to mix it all up. I'm going to pour it into the hash brown crust. And we're going to bake it about 25 to 30 minutes at 375. Yeah, let's clean up this mess.
Yeah, I was.
Have a pretty.
I think I mentioned that this is one if you were going to have your girlfriends over.
Yes, this would be a good.
Beautiful, rich. Are you going to taste this one?
No, ma'am.
See, she's gone on a diet, and I have to. I do have to.
Wait, I'm not on diet, okay? Because that never works. Ever works for me. I'm trying to really, really do portion control and watch what I eat. This, with the heavy cream and the sour cream and the bacon and the cheese, would not be on it. So.
Yeah, but the real truth is, if she has one bite.
Oh, if I have one bite, that's it.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah. So that I am going to take some up for my boss though, because he has not had lunch yet, and that's going to be his lunch.
My, that is absolutely delicious, friends.
Well, just give us a number, 1 to 10.
12.
I'm going to take her word for it because I will not be tasting it.
And I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
It's right here in front of you. And
I
you're
know.
Not going to partake.
It's all or nothing. I know my personality. Everyone's like, you can just take a bite. No, I really can't.
Well, there's a lesson in there. That's like sin, right?
Yeah.
You don't sin a little bit because you'll end up sinning a lot. All right. This is Quiche Lorraine in a hash brown crust. It is awesome. And if you want that recipe, information's coming up on your screen how you can get it. It's absolutely free, and we'll be glad to get it out to you. I think you'll enjoy it very much if you try it. Now meet Candy Gibbs. You're going to love her.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, you may receive it by contacting us through social media as listed on the screen. When requesting a copy through the mail, be sure to include a self-addressed stamped envelope. Thank you, and please know we always appreciate hearing from our viewers.
I have a very special guest today, Candy Gibbs. You're the Executive Director of CareNet Pregnancy Centers, and you live in Amarillo.
Yes, ma'am.
Did I read somewhere that you kind of process more than 1,000 a month through those centers? That's good news.
Yes, an average pregnancy center across the country will see about 100 clients in a month. And in a month. And in Amarillo, we have 3 offices, and we see about 1,400 people every month.
Is there a percentage on those who choose to give life?
I can tell you that this year, we have had 386 pregnant women considering aborting. And of those, 374 have chosen to carry and give their baby's life.
Oh, praise the
Lord.
Lord.
So really, it's an ultrasound that makes a huge impact. And it's about 96, 97% of the time they'll change their mind.
Yes, I had a director from one of the centers in Tampa many years ago, I'd say 10 years ago. She mentioned needing an ultrasound, and that was before they look like they do now.
Oh, sure.
They're 3D now. But one of our viewers stepped up and gave her $20,000 to.
Praise God.
Because even back then they could see the difference. Now, I want to go into your testimony a little bit. You were the daughter of a youth pastor.
Yes, ma'am.
And as a teenager, you strayed like never happened before.
Right. I might have been the only one.
Yeah, you're the only one.
Yeah.
You got pregnant and you had an abortion.
Yes.
As I read your story, I thought, this is such a pattern. I've had so many sitting in that chair, and that spirit in that abortion clinic is unbelievable, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. You know, the
The
interesting...
very power of hell.
It is,
Yes.
it is very, yes. And it is such a lie. There's so much lie and deception around it. But before, when you find out you're pregnant and it's a crisis and you're considering abortion, there are voices everywhere saying, oh yeah, you're right, you should do it. But every woman, when you have that abortion and you leave that abortion clinic, you think, if anyone ever finds this out about me, and so it becomes this secret that you spend your life keeping. But the experience in the abortion clinic is unspeakable.
Your story is exactly like all of them I have heard. That's just, well, demons of hell are in there. Let's face it. And they even talk that the personnel in there are not nice.
No, no, no. It's a huge industry, and it makes a lot of money, and that's why they do it. When you walk into an abortion clinic, my experience was, it was standing room only, people everywhere, waiting outside, every chair standing along the walls. They give you a number when you go into the clinic. That's how they refer to you. I remember sitting there with my dad, the youth minister, people everywhere, and the lady beside me was saying, every time I do this, I eat at Jack in the Box. And I just can't wait to get to Jack in the Box. And you feel like, here you are in this huge crowd of people, but you are all alone. And I'll never forget the day or the details.
Now, how'd your father sign off on this? Just in the confusion and position, and I can see a lot of things that go into that.
Well, you know, when we enter into a time of crisis, it's overwhelming, and you feel every emotion imaginable. And if we make a decision in that moment, it's not usually a good one. And I think that my dad went along with it because he didn't want people in our church to know that I had been behaving this way. But he will say, even sitting in that abortion clinic with all of those people, he thought, how can you people do this? But our situation is different.
Yeah, it's very, very true. But your total story is how God takes all that stuff. He says, and we know. We forget those three words.
Yeah,
and we know that all things, even anything this bad and ugly, all things work together for good to those who love God and are called according to His purpose. Well, here is Exhibit A of that scripture. There's no question about it, that your effort has saved so many babies, and that is absolutely the way He works. Now, you are the director of CareNet Pregnancy Centers. Are those all over the country, or are they Texas?
No, they are all over the country. It's just an affiliation. Each one is independently run, but there is an affiliation with CareNet National. Yes. And then you felt the absolute necessity, I think, to write a book. You have the pregnancy centers where you're saving babies every day, but also you want to write a book so that teens save themselves for marriage, which is God's plan. Oh, yes, ma'am.
So as you sat down to write Rescue, we're going to put a website on the board, on the monitor, and I hope you'll take advantage to try to get this book. It's a great book for leadership. It's a great book for parents to have. We had the privilege of having your son Jake on not too long ago, and there was something about him that I believe is the product that you and your husband were so open, and that there was no subject off base, and that's a message that parents need to know.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, the truth of it is, when we talk about my past and the way that the Lord has used it for good, I know what I'm capable of, and it is nothing good. And I know what He's capable of. And my desire was always that my kids would understand who he was without having to go to the very pit of hell to find out. And that's what I think is the deal with rescue. You don't have to have rebellious kids. You can raise kids that are committed and faithful and want to serve Christ. That's the goal.
How did you just come on this way of raising children? It's too bad it's not common. But what was it in your thinking? Is it a whole lot different than the way you were raised?
It's very different than the way I was raised, and I can tell you the moment that I decided we had to write a book was because when I began in the pro-life ministry working with pregnancy centers, there was a typical client. And it was a young lady that maybe didn't have a relationship with her dad, unchurched, all of those things. Well, in the late 90s, everything began to change. And we were seeing families come in, intact, committed, Christian, faithful families whose daughter was finding herself in an unplanned pregnancy. And that's when we were saying, we got to do something different. If we keep raising our kids like everyone else, we're going to get the same result.
And the thing you zeroed in on was the communication at home,
Oh my
relationship at home.
Yes, because we're all so busy and we're not having that face-to-face time.
And on the phone, on the computer, on the television, there's every kind of filthy debauchery that parents would be wigged out if they had any idea what their kids were seeing.
And they're addicted to it. They're addicted to it, yeah. Parents too.
But you touched on something else, that relationship. I got an article I kept out of a newspaper not too awfully long ago, that girls who have a good relationship with their father, they date much later.
Sure.
And I've had so many former homosexuals on the program through the years, and one of the links there is that the young man never really had a relationship with the father.
Right.
And there are a few clues we have there. So if we got the family intact,
Yes.
culture would be totally different, wouldn't it?
Oh my gosh. If we had the family intact and if we were all committed to living a life that honored Christ in every avenue, and we weren't so concerned with, oh, you let your kids have a cell phone when they turn 8. Oh, you're letting your kids group date in the 6th grade. If we could do our family life in a way that honors Christ, it would be a different culture.
How did you approach things as technology became more important? I've seen kids 2 hours looking at their phone. I thought, where are your parents?
Yes. Well, the way we approached it was there's not anything in your life that's going to take 2 hours of my time with you every day. And if every time I turn around to see one of my kids, I'm looking at the top of your head because you're on that cell phone, I'm done with that. We did not allow, and my daughter is a senior in high school, Jake will be a sophomore in college. They did not have social media of any kind all the way through high school. My daughter, who's a senior,
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding. And they're not pasty white, bun in hair, locked in the back closet of the home.
Were you turned in for child abuse?
No. They have lots of friends. They had a great high school experience. We didn't do social media. Now, my Jake, who's the sophomore in college, he has his own decisions to make, but as of right now, he doesn't have social media.
Look at the foundation you've given them.
They're about other things, getting out, doing. Yeah.
You talk about communication, which is key to what you've done. Seems like such an overused word.
The bottom line is we can't parent based on rules like do's and don'ts. You know, the law didn't work in the Old Testament.
Never did, huh?
Didn't work. It's not about rules. It's about you understanding my heart and me understanding yours. And really, my role as a parent has a lot more to do with my relationship with the Lord than it does whether you're going to obey or not.
It starts in the playpen, though.
Yes, yes.
Now, when I see these girls kind of half naked,
Oh, gosh.
anywhere, everywhere, I've been shocked when I see some people wear to church, but
Yeah. Yeah.
but you know what I decided? They don't know any better.
No.
We were taught modesty. Who's teaching it today?
Oh, very few people.
These young girls don't know.
No. And you know, I think even some families that are intact, Dad might say, you know, I don't think that's real appropriate, and Mom is coming to the defense. Well, that's
Yeah.
what everyone's wearing. We've got to start trusting dads and husbands a little bit. Let them have a say into what's appropriate.
They have a very important role.
Oh my gosh, yes. And they know what young men are thinking. It's
Of course they do.
important. Yes, they
Now,
do.
did you have a certain age for them to date?
We really said no serious relationships in high school. You can take dates to homecoming and prom and hang out together in groups, but we don't want you in a super serious relationship in high school. But again, those decisions really, when it comes down to it, it's up to your teenager. And my kids, we just didn't really have a fight because they were committed to the Lord.
Well, my husband had passed away by the time my daughter would date, and I felt pretty insecure.
Oh,
Because you
yeah.
think a guy.
Yes.
So first time she went out with a group from the church, I told the young man, she's not back here at 10, I'll kill you.
Oh, good for you, Mom.
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
back.
I bet she
Yeah,
was.
she was back. I think parents forget their authority.
Oh, yes, they do. Oh, yes, they do.
They're scared of the kid.
They're scared. They're blackmailed by the kid.
Oh,
I'm
all the time.
afraid. Yeah, if I
All the
hold up
time.
a standard, they're not going to like me. Yeah.
Now, before we run out of time, I want to come back to this book a little bit, Rescue, Raising Teens in a Drowning Culture. And she uses a metaphor of water and lifeguards and so forth. And it seems like you touched on everything.
We tried. We tried.
And toward the last of the book, you touched on homosexuality. And how does a parent, how does someone, you know, you really love this person, how do you deal with them?
You know, I think that all sin, we deal with it the same. I'm always going to love you. If you're my child, for sure. No matter what decisions you're making, I am always going to love you. But I am never allowed to change the standard of what God's Word says. And I'm going to hold up the standard, and I'm going to love you passionately. You're always going to be welcome around me. I'm not going to condone a sinful lifestyle, whether that's sex outside of marriage in a heterosexual relationship or homosexuality. We do not have the privilege or the responsibility to tweak what God said in His Word. He's pretty comfortable with what He said. We're just to love and hold up the standard.
That simplifies it. It might not make it easy.
No, it's not easy.
But Candy, I also think, coming from our pulpits, I think everything descends from leadership, whether it's the family or church or Sunday school class or work or whatever. I'd sure like to hear more holiness preached from our pulpits.
Yes.
Just holy living.
Yes, that's right. You know, we live in a culture that would suggest that if you uphold truth, you are hateful and judgmental.
Right.
That is not true. We can be, just as Christ is described, full of truth and full of grace. And that's what we're called to.
I wonder what some Christians would do, though, if Jonathan Edwards came in and preached, you know, sinners in the hands of an angry God.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
I think it would be a blessing. I think we shouldn't be afraid of our congregation.
We cannot
Preach the
be
truth.
afraid of our congregation or our children. We cannot.
Yeah, that is very true. And I do think that a lot of parents, a lot of moms are just inhibited by the kids.
Oh, absolutely, they
Take
are.
your authority.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry we're out of time, but promise me if you float this way again.
Oh, I would love it.
I love your testimony, and I love the way that you're saving babies every day there. And that's what God's in. God's in the pro-life. If you want to know where God is hanging out, He's at the pro-life people.
Amen to that.
Not the pro-choice, you know.
Right, right.
The lie they sell you.
That's right.
Yeah,
Life.
that's a lie.
Life.
Okay, stay with me. I have a couple things to say before we have to say goodbye.
Arthelene would like you to keep the following information handy. You may contact Homekeepers by writing to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758, or go to www.rippy.org. Remember, we always enjoy hearing from our viewers, and we thank you for your support.
Okay, let me again remind you, we are viewer supported, and thank you for anything you can do to keep this program on the air. You can use the 800 number for your credit card, or the address is there also for your use. I think what you have just seen, my friends, is an absolute trophy of God's grace in Candy Gibbs. And I am so glad that it was possible for us to bring her to you, because no matter what you've done, no matter what sin you've committed, it cannot transcend the grace of God. And from the worst experience of her life, she has come around with God's help and direction to have a ministry that has saved so many babies, and also along the way given you, as you've heard her today, a wonderful way, a path that children should be raised. There's a lot to listen to there. I remember when abortion first became very, very, hate to say it, but popular in this nation. Up to that time, women would fly overseas to get an abortion. I have to admire the Catholic Church. They were on the first front line of fighting abortion, and we are still doing that, and we will continue to do it. And I hope that you will train your children, your grandchildren, in the difference of right and wrong, the difference between life and death. It's so important. So thank you for being with us, and please join me again, remembering there's no higher calling than that of a homekeeper. God bless you.
If you should miss a Homekeepers program, you can catch up by going to www.ctnonline.com. Click on CTN Programs and then on Homekeepers.